Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bo Show podcast, episode 45, presented to you by none other than me today, actually, as Mr. Brock Thompson and Mr. Devin Pierce are both MIA, gone today. Not exactly sure where they are or what they're doing. No, just kidding. I actually know exactly where they are and exactly what they're doing. Brock Thompson, family coming in from Minnesota today. He backed out last minute, said, Bo, kid, listen, I know you need me. I know you want me, but I can't give it to you tonight. Can't give it to you. Okay. No safe words, no avocado for you tonight. You're on your own. You're flying solo, kid. You're flying solo. Okay. Your fly's hanging low. I'm just kidding. That's not what he said. Devin Pierce, who knows where he is? Okay. We've already put out one MIA for him, thinking about putting out another one. Okay. This guy is a mystery to me. It doesn't make any sense where he is, what he's doing. I simply don't get it. I don't understand. Okay. DP, Big D, where you at? Where's that wrench? Where's that rod? Okay. Because daddy needs you home. All right. Daddy needs you home. You guys, listen, today's going to be a short but sweet podcast. Okay. As you probably know, when you clicked on it, 10, 15 minutes, that's what I'm guessing. Gonna be quick. We're going to be moving high speeds. Okay. Got a couple things I want to talk about with you today. But other than that, I just wanted to check in, see how everyone's doing, and then let you go. Okay. Because it's the beginning of a new week. And I know that you guys got things you got to do, dog. Even though you're probably on an hour drive right now, you're hoping this was an hour. Not today. You can replay this 4 times if you want, though. Listen, if you guys don't already, subscribe to us. Apple Podcasts is where we post most of our stuff, or / iTunes. Check us out on there. Subscribe to us on there. If not, follow us on Instagram at the Bo Show Baby. Come check us out on there. Follow us. Look at our videos. Look at what I'm throwing up on there. Sometimes I throw Piercy's butt cheeks on there on a story or two. And people love it. They love those thick cheeks. Just kidding. Never done that before. Avocado. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, you got to follow us. Check us out. Check us out also on our website, thebowshow.ca. Okay, that's all past content, videos, video interviews with NHL players, CFL, NFL, you name it, we got it. Podcasts, everything's on there as well. And then also, most recently, thebowshow.shop. Check us out there for all merchandise. Now, listen, speaking of thebowshow.shop, I posted a picture this last week of somebody, one of my boys, actually. One of my boys who boys since day one. As soon as he saw this bowshow.shop website come out, he said, Bo, buddy, I'm ordering some kicks right now. Immediately. He went into his bank account. He spent the last $60 that he had, and he bought a pair of Bo Show kicks. Now, these things are absolutely fire, if you ask me. Posted a picture of them to our Bo Show at the Bo Show Baby Instagram page, and people were loving them. People were buzzing. Got a few more orders on them after that. Now, go check it out there. My wife just dropped something in the kitchen. If you heard that, unbelievable. No respect for what I'm doing here for the brand I'm trying to create. Anyway, go check that out. Go check out that website. Hey guys, today I actually wanted to go through two things on the radar. First of all, I wanted to go through each playoff series. Not much, brief, surface level. Think with me, talk with me in your car if you can. Okay. 2, I want to talk about, I had multiple people ask me this week because it was either this, just me, or no podcast this week. But I had multiple people ask me this week and say, Bo, how the heck did this Bo Show thing even start? I kid you not, dozens of people DMing this week and asking, even in person that I run into through everyday life job, how the heck did you get some of these high profile guys on your podcast? And even on the show. To name some: Brett Howden, New York Rangers; Ryan Carpenter, who's Chicago Blackhawks. Formerly, we had him when he was playing on Vegas. Marc-Andre Bourdon, former Philadelphia Flyer. I mean, Blake Wheeler, Winnipeg Jets. Josh Morrissey, Winnipeg Jets. You know, Dave Anderchuk, Hockey Hall of Famer, Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, the list goes on and on. Whit from Spit and Chicklets. I mean, these are all former podcast guests that we had. It's unbelievable. It's remarkable. Now, the thing that I think about when we talk about this, it is when someone asks me this question, is I think, how did we get them on? How the heck did we get these people on? So I'm going to go over that in 1 minute. But before I do, wanted to go over something real quick with you guys. Each playoff series right now, currently, the 2020 NHL playoffs are going on. As you may know, hockey all day, all night, all day, all night. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. It's what you wish for. When you're a kid, you think about this and you can't believe that literally 24/7 you got hockey playing. So first off, Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens. This one's an absolute shocker to me. Philly is currently leading the Montreal Canadiens in their best-of-7 series 2-1. And that right now, folks, is going to be a great series. It's going to finish off on a great note. To be honest with you, think the Habs might have them. It's going to be real tight. We're going to see what happens. How about Carey Price? Not just lights out in the net, but the guy has an absolute hog of a personality. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh, heaven help me. This guy, though, is unbelievable. He's absolutely incredible. Okay. Then, oh boy, I better figure it out here. This is not good. This really is not good. Moving on, we got Tampa and Columbus. Okay. Tampa and Columbus. Tampa's up 2-1, about to go up 3-1. I think it's going to happen. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it, but I could see it. I could totally see it. Okay. Now, you may ask, or sorry, Tampa's actually up 3-1. Pardon me, as my notes and computer's completely glitching here. There we go. Bingo. Got it. Thank you. Tampa's up 3-1 in their series right now. New York Islanders up 3-0 against the Caps. Are you kidding me? Going for the sweep tonight? Absolutely ridiculous. Can they do it? Can they complete the sweep? One of the toughest things to do in hockey. Boston Bruins playing Carolina last night. Well, tonight, actually, when you guys are going to be listening to it, it's going to be last night. They are up on the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1 in their series. Going to be a tight one right to the finish line as well. Now, moving on to the Western Conference, Vegas Golden Knights are up on Chicago right now 3-1. Always tough to close a team out, but I think they'll do it. Vegas will move on to the next round, keep the change. Colorado absolutely just dominating the Coyotes. Okay, like having Coyote for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, hunting Coyote is the Avalanche. The Avs are up 3-1 in that series, and it looks as though they're going to be ending that as they just won yesterday 7-1. Ugh. Calgary currently tied with number 3 Dallas. Bit of a surprise. Had the Flames coming up. They beat my Jets. Okay, in the play-in round, and now they're giving Dallas a run for their money. Very interesting. As Dallas needs to figure it out. Dallas and Calgary tied 2-2. Vancouver and St. Louis. Here's one that I can't figure out. Vancouver was up on them 2-0 in the series, looking like a vintage Edmonton Oilers. These guys were incredible coming out of left field. Okay, JT Miller carrying his team on his back is JT Miller and Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat, excuse me, wheels. This guy flies around the ice. He's an older version of Connor McDavid right now. This guy's unbelievable. Vancouver leads St. Louis 2-1 in their series. But St. Louis coming on strong as they won the last game in overtime. I believe that I got everyone there. That's what we got going on right now as hockey continues day and night. Next round, we're going to slow down a bit, probably have more hockey in the evening, less during the day. Nonetheless, it's been a great ride so far with that. You guys let us know what you think. DM us on Instagram. Who do you think is going to win the cup? Who do you have going from the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference as a Stanley Cup matchup? Message me. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'll throw it out there and let the audience know what your opinions are. Try to get a feeler for the audience. Well, to close it out today, guys, as I mentioned, I had a lot of questions this last week of how the Bo Show started, and I will say this is it's been a ton of work. So the Bo Show actually started. We originated 5 years ago, or sorry, that's not true. We originated 4 years ago. Okay, back in 2016, 2017. My last year in Steinbach, captain of the team. Is that good? Where, we had our media guy. He came up to me. He said, "Man, Bo, you love to talk, kid. You love to talk and you can do it. You sure can do it." It was our radio guy, Dave Anthony. He came up to me. He said, "You want to do this?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." He said, "Okay, why don't you start interviewing some guys on our team?" So sure enough, that's exactly what I did. Started interviewing guys on our team on the Steinbach Pistons, giving fans an inside look at some of the top guys in the country, right? And the top guy in the country was doing the interview, which is sick. Fans, of course, tuned in, listened, watched. We post all those interviews on YouTube. They're actually on the Bo Show channel right now on YouTube. You can go check those out. First ever episodes of the Bo Show. Well, following that, it was very interesting what actually ended up happening. Went back to Winnipeg after my 20-year-old year in Steinbach, and I had a decision to make. Where am I going to go from here? Do I continue down the teacher path that I was on? I was going to school part-time while playing hockey to be a phys ed teacher, to be a gym teacher in education. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm having a blast doing this. Hosting the show, having a blast, meeting all these people is awesome. So I went home. One of my boys, Nolan Patrick, Philadelphia Flyers, hasn't been around for a while. Has had some migraine problems, as you've seen. Had him on the show. Blew up. Thousands of hits, tens of thousands. And we had him on the show. Then following that, we had the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the CFL come on the show. We had a few of those guys. We had Mark Chipman, owner of the Winnipeg Jets. Then we had Blake Wheeler, Dustin Byfuglien, so on. And the Winnipeg Jets allowed me, fortunately, to work with a lot of these guys and to interview them. They were very generous with that. And I think that once I built that trust with them through the first interview with Mark, who's obviously the head of the whole organization. He's the kind of owns the whole shebang. The guy's running it from the top. He said, and he helped me really to organize more events. And through they're also, especially through their public relations PR guy, Anders Strom. He was just instrumental in the whole process of getting Blake Wheeler and Dustin Byfuglien and these guys on the show, Josh Morrissey. And then we moved on and then went to Liberty University. While at Liberty University, there was an opportunity for us to continue the Bo Show. One of the reasons that I chose Liberty to go play college hockey was obviously first and foremost because it was a great hockey school and the biggest Christian school in the world. Right? It was a sick school. But one of the bonuses was our coach, Kirk Handy, said, well, you know what, Bo, we actually have a podcast studio. I think it'd be super cool if you started a podcast. So what did we do? My first year in Steinbach was my first year at Liberty, about 3 years ago. In 2017, 2018, we started the Bo Show podcast. Went around the room, looking around guys after we're getting changed. Everyone's naked, checking everyone out, seeing, that guy's, don't know about that guy. He's got pancake butt. Can't have a pancake butt on the podcast, right? Piercy and Brock got pretty good cheeks for the most part. And me obviously leading the cheek charge, right? So looked around the room and I noticed, I said, Pierce, hilarious guy, right? Kind of similar to me, a little witty, right? Yeah, he doesn't show up 75% of the time, but I think he'd be fun. Love the guy too. Super cool guy, super nice guy. So Piercy, you want to start a podcast? I think the Bo Show podcast. And these guys all knew about the Bo Show beforehand, right? Of course. So he said, yeah, dude, I'd love to. I'm in. I said, great. Pierce came in. Then we asked Brock, you want to come on the podcast? And Brock said, yeah. And actually I got the roles reversed a little bit. I asked Brock first. Brock came on. Him and I hosted the first podcast with Piercy as a guest. Pierce did so well that we asked him to join. So that happened. Well, then after that, as you guys know, we've talked about it many times, we started recording in the studio. And this studio was elite. Okay. The studio had like soundproof walls. It was a solid like 7-8 inches of just styrofoam or like not styrofoam, but just this beautiful soundproof wall. I don't even know what you call it. It was unreal. And the mics were pristine. The equipment in there was ridiculous. I mean, I felt like I was on Pardon My Take daily. Okay. It basically was Pardon My Take with our viewership, with our listenership, still is. Now, how did we get the guests though? Everyone asks, well, how do you get these guests, man? How do you do what you do, dog? Here's the answer to that. It's called marketing. All I would simply do, you guys, is go on the Bo Show page and we would reach out to these guys. We'd reach out to Wit. We'd reach out to Spit and Chicklets. We'd reach out to you fill in the blank for who you were impressed with. Lev Bure was a big one too, right? few 100,000 followers on it, or 100,000, 200,000 followers on Instagram, whatever it is. And, Candace Bure from Full House, right? Her son, and he's a big name for himself as it is. Like, if you fill in the blank, what we did with a lot of these people was actually we just slid into their DMs. We told them a little bit about what we were doing. We said, hey, listen, we're just a podcast. We're just trying to get going. And we've had some high profile names, right? From back when I interviewed Bufflin and Wheeler and these guys and Patrick, those guys gave us some credibility that, hey, these guys aren't a joke. They have interviewed some high class people before. I trust them. And I think because of that, these guys gave us an opportunity, which was super cool. So that gave us an opportunity. Now, when you have one guy on, let me give you an example. We have Stu Grimson on. Pierce's dad. Pierce knew Stu Grimson from when he played hockey in Nashville when he was a kid. Stu was one of his coaches. Stu Grimson's a former tough guy in the NHL, fought Bob Probert, which is like one of the most legendary fighters in the NHL, toughest guy to ever play in the NHL. Stu Grimson fought him constantly. Okay, Stu Grimson's a former NHLer. He's now a analyst, hockey analyst on, I believe it's NBCSN. I don't want to mess that up, but I'm pretty sure it's either NBCSN, Fox Sports, one of the big American networks. He's on there. And or on the NHL net. I think it might be NHL Network actually. He's on the he's on the NHL Network constantly. Well, we have Stu Grimson on. Stu comes on, great interview. That episode's also obviously on iTunes, Apple Podcast. We have him on. Well, he then after the interview says, "Guys, listen, I'm in the studio daily." He said, "You guys did a great job. I love being on here with you. Do you want me to ask someone else in the studio if they want to come on? Because I think you guys are onto something here." So sure enough, we said, yeah. He goes, "Boys," we didn't even know this. He goes, "Boys, I work right next, hand in hand, with Ryan Whitney /Whit from Spit and Chicklets every day." He said, "All I got to do is whisper in his ear and grab his leg and say, 'Whit, I got these boys from the Bo Show podcast and they want a piece of your cake. You want to go check them out?'" That's all he said he had to do. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but he said, "Boys, like I can ask him. I'm literally with him every day. I can ask him if he wants to come on the podcast." Sure enough, got him. Stu talked to him the next day, asked him, said, "Hey, you want to come on?" Whit said, "Yeah." I mean, a couple weeks later, we're texting with Whit, right? We're texting with Whit saying, "Whit, when can you come on? When can you make this work?" And he comes on. And so a lot of it too, getting guests was just word of mouth. You get one guest, right? You get one guest and then they enjoy it or they have a good time. You treat them well and they say, "Okay." And we say, "Hey, you might know someone." And they go, "Yeah, I can help you out. I'll pass the word out. I'll connect you to this person." And then all of a sudden you got a next person. And then all of a sudden the dominoes fall. You got a good amount of people. So that's a lot of the time how guests work. You just got to get that first one and then a lot will follow. A decent amount will follow for sure. It's about who knows who, how you treat them. The Bo Show now, you guys, has grown. And I think I shared this on a previous podcast, but we've been played in over 6-7 countries. I don't have the analytics in front of me now, but 6-7 countries, hundreds of thousands of listens over the last 3 years since we've been a podcast. And really, we've been blessed and very fortunate with you guys being faithful and listening and, just turning us on your way to work or at work, when you're mowing the lawn or whatever you may be doing. We've heard endless stories of how people listen to us and when they listen to us. But the point of the matter is we don't plan on going anywhere. This year, I just made the announcement to a lot of the guys that I won't be coming back to Liberty University, at least for the near future. My wife and I, Camille, plan on staying in Winnipeg. And due to the coronavirus and a lack of opportunity down at Liberty for my wife and I, there's just not much going on there. They have a hiring freeze. They're not hiring anyone for work. And it's just it seems a little crazy there right now. So ultimately, we have been left no choice but to stay in Winnipeg. It's not really our choice. It's kind of been made for us by everything going on. And with that being said, though, we still don't plan on going anywhere. You guys have been awesome to us. You've constantly listened to us. So we're going to respect that. And Piercy, Brock, and I are going to keep coming at you with content. Now, I know that every week it might be a little different. Some weeks might be Piercy and I, some weeks might be Brock and I, some weeks like this week, for the first week ever, just me. But I promise you that we will stay with you and we will stay here. We want to grow this podcast. Our goal for our podcast threesome is to continue this thing and grow old with it and really connect with each other and use this podcast as a platform for us to keep up with each other and keep in touch with each other and also keep in touch with our fan base. Piercy isn't coming back this year either. So Brock will be the only one at Liberty University. Pierce will be in Nashville. I'll be in Winnipeg. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to do that. Enough of me babbling on. I'm sure you guys are sick and tired of it. I hope you guys have a great day at work. Whatever you're doing, great night, relaxing, whatever you guys are doing when you're listening to this, great time mowing the lawn. Move those boots. Listen, on behalf of the whole Bo Show podcast co-host staff, everyone, the people who edit this thing, the people who promote this thing, the people who listen to this thing, everyone. My name's The Bo Show, a.k.a. Jordan Belinsky, a.k.a. Bo. Check us out again on our website, theboshow.ca, or check us out on our Instagram. Okay, that's at The Bo Show, baby. All right, you can check us out on those two platforms. Those are our two biggest hit platforms there. Listen to the podcast, subscribe. You guys, love you guys so much. Thanks for listening today. If you got any questions about what I talked to today, please don't hesitate. Send us your questions. You can send us your questions at bo@theboshow.ca is our email. Oh, sorry, bo@theboshow.com is our email. Okay, so yeah, we got our own email now. How sick is that? Ew, growing. Or you can send us in your questions on Instagram or wherever you may do that about any podcast. Send us in. Let us know what you got. What do you want us to talk about? Send us in. Maybe we'll talk about it on the next episode. Love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week for episode 46.